Record. Wait.
Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria,
And
sequestered at home.
and I'm Rosetta. And as you can see, we're not together because in California, we have a shelter at home, which means we all have to stay at home. So we're doing this over Zoom. So we're going to see how it works because we have not recorded over Zoom and try and see if it works out well. All right, so don't forget everyone to please subscribe to our channel if you like our chats. Hit the thumbs up and the bell notification so that you don't miss any of our chats. We wouldn't want that, right?
That's right.
Okay, so what are we drinking for tea today? We're going to be doing separate tea reviews because Gloria has her tea and I have my tea. So why don't you start, Gloria, and tell everyone what you're drinking?
Okay, everyone, I am drinking Lloyd's Juicy Lemon Tea. I love the flavor of lemon, lime, citrus. I'm a citrus girl. This is a natural organic tea. It is rooibos is the primary ingredient. Next, and like 50% of it. Then we have green tea. We have lemon peel. We have apple. We have ginger, lemongrass, black pepper, dried honey powder, and then a little honey to make it sweet. So that's what I will be sharing today.
Yum, juicy, juicy.
Yes. And I got this real cool cup that my
Oh my
husband
gosh.
got me. And it says,
Big
Dog Mom, she who must be obeyed.
And it's a massive mug.
It
Oh my God, you're
is.
gonna need 2 tea bags for that.
Oh, I didn't make the whole thing full. So I'm going to take a little sip. This is wonderful because as you're about to drink it, all of that aroma of all of those different flavors hit your nose. So that's my tea. Rosetta, what are you doing today?
Okay, well, I didn't seat mine yet, and mine is from the Secret Garden. Here it is.
Okay.
And the flavor is organic ginger peach black tea. So I'm going to open it up. And this is what you see. They're all loose already, but this is what it is. Looks like that.
Nice.
So I'm going to seep it. So I'm not going to try it now because I have not seeped it. All right. So I'm going to let that seep and then I'll try that later on during our chats. But that's what it is. It's this ginger peach organic tea, black tea. Nice. All right.
So as you know, we always kick it off talking about Ellen and how Ellen is changing lives. However, with the new stay home mandate for Northern and Southern California, Ellen has been doing shows of either guest hosts or reruns. So Ellen, we hope that you and Portia, Twitch, and other members of your staff, you're all well, and you're all sequestered home, taking care of yourselves and your family. And we look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So last week, Wendy Williams shared on her show that she and 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Marlo and Nene, actually went to Bergdorf's to do a little, girlfriend bonding and shopping. Now, Wendy shared that, she's kind of oblivious of, people acting weird or strange. And when they got outside, because each one of the ladies had their own car service. So when they went outside, they got in their cars, and then the drivers would take them to their prospective homes or hotel rooms or whatever. And there was a conversation to the fact, they followed us around the store. Now, Wendy Williams is not broke. I've never heard of her stealing anything. And, initially people were like, oh, they don't do that anymore. And I'm like, really? They do. Now, Wendy said that Nene bought like 8 to 10 dresses, gowns, evening gowns, dropping a couple of $1,000s or more per dress. Marlo, she is also very high end. She bought some things, and Wendy bought a negligee. So, they dropped $20,000, $30,000 in there. And Wendy was just very shocked that, she didn't realize it, but she was like, I can't believe that people would do that now, that they're still following people and profiling people because they just happen to be 3 Black women. Don't you think that's sad, Rosetta?
Well, they've been doing it, and they always will, and there's always going to be some people that do that. And a little story I'm going to say is that when I worked retail, the store manager that I had, one day we were working, and there was these 2 Black ladies that came into the store, and she came over to me and whispered, keep an eye on those 2 Black ladies.
Wow.
And I was completely mortified. I said, okay, but obviously I didn't, because I'm not that kind of person. But I just said that because she's the store manager. And, there are still people like that. I mean, I don't know how they've been raised, but as Gloria and I have always said, that it stems from top down.
Yes.
So it has to do with influences around you, above you, parents. Parents play a big role in that as well. So I'm not surprised. And it's very sad because I'm not sure, but obviously we know who Wendy Williams is. We know who Nene
Yes.
Nash is. Maybe they didn't know who they were, but that's beside the point. I was just saying that, it doesn't matter who you are. Why would you do that? They're coming into your shop. You never know, people. You never know
Right. And
what
if
these
you
people
were,
are. I mean, how you never know. They may have money. They
yeah,
may want to put down $1 million in your store. How would you know?
yes. And if they were someone that didn't have money, why did they come with stylists? Each person had a stylist who picked clothes. They would run and get the clothes, and they'd say, oh, I think I like that one, this one. I mean, they weren't just regular people walking off the street. So you should know that they're not there to steal you blind.
Right. And that reminds me of that film with Julia Roberts,
Yes.
Pretty Woman. And she went to
Yes.
the rodeo drive, and just the way she dressed, and they didn't want to help her until she came back and realized who she was. They started to help her. I mean, it's really sad, people. We're in 2020 and this is still going on.
Yeah.
I mean, all we can do is just be open-minded. I just tell everyone out there, be open-minded and don't think bad of people. Be positive.
Yes.
I mean, that's negative thinking.
Yes.
And as Ellen says, be kind to one another.
Yes, absolutely. I was watching the Today Show, and they had this discussion. There is a new program, I don't know what you call it. In 2019, there was a launch of this concept called Chief, like, head chief, CHIEF, and it's based out of New York. It is for high-end professional women. It costs between $7,000 to $8,000 to become a member. They have, the new organization is about 2,000 women, and they have 7,000 women on a waiting list to become a member. They also shared that one of the things that they're trying to do is uplift women so they can go to the next levels. So there were executives from major companies, executive from major studios, music industry, etc. I mean, across the board. And they shared that there were 300 CEOs at the high level, high end. So when I hear high end, I think like, top 500 companies or top 100 companies. And of these CEOs, of the 300, only 30, so that's 10%, were women. And also, those women only made 79 cents to the dollar for a man. As a woman, I know you have to do more than your share to get these promotions and to sustain them. So for a woman to only receive a minimal of 79 cents on a dollar, where she's probably doing 1.5 times the work. It just goes to show you that we still have a lot of work to do to become equal and fair based on the job responsibility, and not the content of the individual performing the job.
I'm just, yes, it's really, really shocking that this, I mean, I can't believe what figures you gave. Out of the 300 CEOs, only 30 of them are women. That's like,
Correct.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
like 10%. That's horrible. We need to, I mean, I don't know what it will take for us to have the equal pay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Doesn't,
How do we get there, and how do we empower the next generation? You know, because one of the things that I constantly hear is millennials and Gen X, they don't see labels. They are, you know, they're just, you know, disgusted when someone tries to treat someone a certain way. So as they become our next wave of leaders, are they going to be able to eliminate this? Or is this something going on within their current environment and it's just the norm? So it will continue.
yeah, so yes, the millennials, the whatever you call the people coming in now that are really young, they're going to be our next generation. They're going to be running, I don't know, because CEOs, you have to, unless one of the Gen X or whatever you call, what are they called before the millennials? I don't know what they're called. But the millennials, you are the ones that can change everything. If you decide to open a company and you're the CEO and you hire people, just treat people fairly. Give same
Yes.
pay to women and men.
Yeah.
However, within the companies we have right now, that's going to be hard unless something is done. And I don't know what that something's going to be, because we have been talking about this in society for a very, very long time.
Yes.
Men are still the way they are, and they're the ones that are hiring and firing and deciding how much pay that we can make as women, which is very sad.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know what has yet to come, but I love that group that you said. And what was that name of the group again?
Chief, you know, like head chief. So
Chet
it's chief.
Pizza. Yeah.
And I will put the link down below so that they can check it out.
Yes, that would be great to understand what they do, and what is it what they're doing in the forefront. What kind of things are they coming up with that will actually change the
Right.
present
Right.
state, how it is.
Yeah, because some of the ladies that were sitting around the tables actually said, you know, I don't know if I would have made it to this level without this group. So the perspective is that they're making changes already and it's new.
Okay,
And
that's great.
yeah, and they're looking at opening satellites, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I can't remember, I think it was Chicago, but they're looking at branching out. So we'll put the link of the information we have
Oh,
right now, and then we can follow up later.
nice, nice. Okay, I'm gonna try
Yeah,
my tea now since I've had it seeping.
please do.
All right, my little ginger peach tea. It's a black tea. I don't really drink a lot of black tea, but I thought I'd try it out.
I love it. We're separate. We didn't talk about it. And I have juicy lemon with ginger, and she has black tea with ginger.
Yes, how funny.
I know.
Well, I had to take 2 sips. I don't know. I don't taste the ginger and I don't taste the peach. I taste black tea.
Well, there you go. You're like, I don't really do a lot of black tea. And so what did she get? She got a mouth of black tea.
I mean, it's not bad. It's okay. Just don't taste the ginger, don't taste the peach. I
Mm.
just found this in my cabinet and I said, oh, this is great. Organic
Yeah,
ginger peach.
you're like,
Well,
let's
it's
just
okay.
try it.
It's okay. It's not what I was expecting, but I can drink it. It's drinkable.
All right. So Rosetta's going to talk a little bit about some things that Kelly Clarkson are doing, that she's doing around children and teens and just kids in general.
Yes. So I was watching the Kelly Clarkson show. I love Kelly. Have you ever watched, for those of you that are tuning in, have you ever watched any of her shows? The Kelly Clarkson show. She is amazing. Oh, I just turned it. I was just trying to look at it played, but I wanted to show you a few, just share a few things that I thought was great. So I don't remember the segment that she did, what the segment is called, but she had a segment on where she was talking about some young kids that were up and coming and inspiring even adults. And a few of the kids that she had on, one child was a 12-year-old Black American little child, and she was
Right.
really big into fashion. And how she started off was she would take her clothes and she would upgrade them, up fashion them. And her parents didn't know what that was, but she just got her regular clothes and made them into a fashion statement. And she started to do a lot of fashion, what do you call them, sketches in her
Right.
sketchbook. And
Right.
Kelly Clarkson brought her onto her show. She's a cute little guy. I mean, I could tell as soon as they
Yeah.
showed her, she looked really, really fashionable, especially what she was wearing. And she
Yes.
loves to sketch. She has a very, very creative mind. And they were showing her sketches, and then all of a sudden, to surprise her, she goes, "We have a surprise for you." And the girl was going, "Wow, what is a surprise?" And they go, "We have Kimora Lee Simmoms. Come on out, Kimora." And Kimora, she's a huge, huge influence in the fashion industry. So they brought her out, and this was actually in a previous show. So when I was watching it, they were doing updates as to what had transpired after Kimora Lee Simmoms came out. The girl was really happy. You could see that she was grinning from ear to ear, and she was so excited. And what Kimora did was she flew the little girl out to her business, her place of business, for a whole day, and she was showing the little girl, like, this is how we make our clothes, this is my team, these are the designers. And what we didn't know was that this little girl had a book full of sketches and great new designs of outfits. And what they actually did was they made one of the sketches, they made it into reality and made it into a real outfit. So
Wow.
when they did the update, the girl comes out, because Kimora Lee Simmoms comes out first and talks about, how the day went and what she did. And then they showed the video of the day. And then the little girl comes out and she's wearing that outfit, one of her sketches that she had made. So that was really, I mean, as a young child, even as an adult, you're sketching and you get that made by Kimora Lee Simmoms and her team. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
It's crazy. It's great. So she does this with a few other inspiring young children. One of them really loves to. She wants to be a pilot in the army, and she came on the show. And then the surprise for her was a mentor of. It was a superintendent, someone that was high up in the army, and she was a pilot. And the little girl got to go with her one day in, on her what is it, her base, her army base.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes, and she was able to go on the airplane and see what her mentor was doing. And because she's underage, she was not able to fly the plane. But what I really like is, just to cut a long story short, Kelly really brings on these little kids and how they're inspiring everyone. And then she brings on a mentor that actually mentors them for a day. There was another kid that wanted to be a policewoman, and her
Right.
mentor was the chief police woman in Dallas, the city of Dallas. So she came on and she surprised her, and she goes, "And what I'd like to do for you is bring you out to Dallas and have you run the city for a day," which was amazing. So this is something that Kelly did, and I thought this was really great inspiration for other kids to never
Yeah.
give up on your dreams and do what your heart is longing to do. Never give up. That was really great. So that was one thing. The other thing was Kelly actually there was this 10-year-old model, and he has spina bifida, I think that's what it's called. And he's actually a model. So he models clothes for different companies. And there's this one viral picture going around where you see him, and they don't show the actual specific store, but there's a kid who's about 2 years old in a wheelchair, 2 or 3 years old, and he's looking up at this poster of this other child in a wheelchair who has spina bifida, and he's saying, wow, this model looks like me. I've never seen any model modeling clothes that looks like me. So this image went viral on social media, because here you are, this little kid with spina bifida, not knowing there's anyone, and then he's shopping, and all of a sudden he just stops in his tracks and sees this one model that has the same condition as him, and he's in the wheelchair like him. So that's what went viral. But that was really nice to see, because they both came out, and Kelly had them both in the studio. And the 10-year-old model, he actually was crying because he felt so touched by how he had inspired this other child that was just shopping in this particular shop and saw his image that he was modeling those clothes, which was really nice. So that's what I thought was really nice in this day and age, that Kelly could bring something of inspiration to us.
Excellent. Well, the next thing and the final thing on our list for today is the coronavirus. Today, I guess you would say the 50th, the last state turned red. Before that, Kentucky had been, no, it was Virginia. Virginia was the state that they had no reports. And yesterday, someone said to the president, is the virus there and no one's talking, or there's no virus? And he says, well, I haven't heard of anything. And then this morning, ding, 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 it's red. So suspect. As a lot of people know, 6 counties in Northern California last week were classified that this has now reached, well, the whole United States is pandemic. And at this point, those 6 counties, our governor said, we are going to do a stay in place. Now, what that typically means is that you go home and you stay home. They said that certain businesses would be allowed to remain open, like hospitals, grocery stores, gas stations, pharmacies. Everything else was supposed to close, and everything else didn't close. So a couple of things. The first thing is that I think everyone's business is essential to them. However, is it essential enough that you could possibly be spreading this virus within your business? We're not supposed to have any gatherings of more than 10 people at a time. If you have more than 10 employees, you should let them go home. That's what the law says. So the first thing I thought was interesting, Tesla was allowed to be considered essential and stay open and keep working. This morning, the governor said, no, not really. So they told Tesla that they need to send some of their employees home, because you can't be on an assembly line and be 6 feet apart and do your job. That is just, they're not going to be able to build the cars. So it'll be interesting to see if they shut down or if they come up with another reason to stay open. I think that we have to figure out a way for everybody to stop. Even if they said for the next 7 days, everybody stay home, there has to be something, and everybody means everybody. Because what people aren't realizing is they are staying home, they're working from home, and then they go to a bar at night to have a cocktail. That's taking that virus, if you have it, with you. We are being told that millennials can have it without any symptoms. I mean, no symptoms, and they have it. So once again, we need to stay away. There are seniors who are the ones that are most in the most vulnerable position right now, and they're the ones that they're mostly concerned. So they're trying to get people to stay away, up into the fact that they're trying to create separate hours for them to go shopping at the grocery stores, like an hour before the regular hours is for seniors only. So
Yes,
they're
I
trying
heard
to,
that.
huh?
I heard that.
Yes. So they're trying to do things. However, we have to figure out how to get everybody on the same page, because if company A is, say, for example, I manufacture cars and I'm considered essential, and here this person on the other side is an individual business owner, and if they're not working their business, they're not making any money, they're going to lose their business and close shop. How is it that the company car gets the ability to move forward and continue to work, and the individual business owner has to shut down? So it's like, how can we figure out how to fairly and collaboratively work together to do this? Because, I don't know about you, Rosetta, it blew my mind on Monday when the announcement went back to shelter at home. When that announcement went out, I had decided, well, I'll go by the store on my way home and pick up any essentials, so I don't have to go out to the grocery store. I know it's going to be open. And I walk in the grocery store and they're like, we have no paper towels, we have no toilet paper, no hand sanitizer. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't there for that. And then I get to the back of the store and there's no fresh vegetables, no onions, no yams, no bell peppers. And I mean, no yellow onions, no red onions, no white onions. I mean, no onions, no tomatoes. I mean, meat counter completely. I'll send you a picture and we can post it on here.
Well, I
Meat,
went grocery shopping on Sunday before they actually announced everyone's shelter in home,
right.
and I wanted potatoes. There was no potatoes. I was like, what? No, there was no onions. I went to Safeway. No onions, no potatoes. There was sweet potatoes.
No, mine had no sweet potatoes, no yams. You
Wow.
know, I'm like, wow, no rice. I didn't even think about this. I'm originally from the South, so most of the young people my age, we grew up on lentils of all different types. And so I was like, well, I'll just buy a few bags of peas and beans, and I can cook those because they're filling, and none, no rice, no beans, no pasta. My
Wow.
sister went to a Safeway and she said that there was one bag of pasta. She goes, I don't even know what the hell this was. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, it wasn't spaghetti and it wasn't bow tie. She goes, but it was pasta. She goes, there was only one bag. So I bought that. And there was one little jar of spaghetti sauce and she bought that. She said there were no cans of, vegetables, like, no chili. And I'm like, really? So I think, okay, yes, this is very scary times. However, hoarding is not going to help us at all, because there are certain people that can't get out every day. And I went out earlier and there's still no food. The
I think that the best thing to do, because Costco is rationing how many cases of water you can get. They should do that for everything in every supermarket. How many bags of something can you buy? The limit, like two. Like
yeah,
toilet paper. 2 cases of toilet paper should be, or whatever you call them, packages
right.
or whatever, should be max. It's ridiculous. Why are people, I don't understand. Many people have been asking, you've been saying that it's ridiculous. Why are people holding toilet paper? It does
Yes,
not make sense.
it doesn't.
Sense.
And the things that we can do is share, instead of allowing somebody to buy. Like I saw a lady at a Safeway last week before all this became crazy, and I had heard about the toilet paper, but I thought it was just whatever. And this lady had a shopping cart full, and I looked at the store manager and I kind of looked at the cart, and she looked at me and she goes, I don't know. She says, we can't get enough on the shelves. And now you can't get it on the shelves at all.
Well, I thought it was silly that people were hoarding hand sanitizers. And
Yes,
different, because now people really need it, like the masks and hand sanitizers. This
yes,
is really, like, the masks are so important because the healthcare workers, I just saw a post on Facebook from a healthcare worker, and she says, please, we're in desperate need of these masks. If you've
yes,
been hoarding them and you don't need them because you're just hoarding just because,
right.
please consider going to your local like hospital and donating them because we are so in desperate need. She even said that some of the nurses are reusing theirs because they don't have enough.
They don't have a choice. And
It's
our front end nurses and doctors, if they get sick, people, that's it, because they're the ones risking their lives to take care of us. So let's help them. Rosetta was telling me about someone who bought all this hand sanitizer. I mean, all of it, and now they have a garage full of it, and they can't sell it because they're looking for people trying to inflate prices to make a buck during this catastrophe.
Yeah, and Amazon and eBay, wherever you can sell online, they're cracking down. If we see that you're selling hand sanitizer that's most needed, we're going to shut down your account. So they're stuck with all those hand sanitizers and whatever else they hoarded on.
Yes. And some helpful tips that Rosetta and I want to share with you. I was watching The View, I think it was yesterday, and Dr. Oz was a guest co-host, and he was saying the way we normally wash our hands, we just wash our hands like that and we're done. He says we have to wash our hands like a surgeon. So you cup your hands together so your thumbs are exposed on either end, and you swish and you swish. And like I have nails, and so he's like, make sure you get all underneath the nails. And then after you do this over and over, and like Rosetta says, sing happy birthday twice, you do that, and then you do your thumbs, and then he said to do your palms. Make sure you get it all into your palms. And then, if you notice when a surgeon is doing this, they wash their hands and then they hold their hands, and then it's like they kind of air dry a little bit, and then they dry them, and then they put them right into the gloves, because you want to clean and disinfect as much of your skin as possible. So Dr. Oz had this cute little red chart, and I'm going to see if I can find it, and we'll put a link to it down below. Things to do, like he says, don't hoard things, how to wash your hands, how to be, conscious. I told Rosetta, it is so funny. Since they said don't touch your face, I can't keep my hands off my face. I'm rubbing. I'm like, okay, Gloria, don't do that. Don't touch your face. And then I'll be talking and I'll be I'm like, oh my God.
Well,
So
there's one thing, I have a tip that you can do to stop touching your face, and they suggest use lotion that is scented.
Oh,
Then you
because then when
might
you
not want
smell
to
it.
touch your face because then
There you
you'll have
go.
it wafting, or they said, or they even said that you can wear gloves or put
Yes.
something on your hands so you forget about, you don't forget, but you
But
notice
but so
as soon as it goes
but
on your
stop.
face. Yeah,
Yes. Well, I
yeah.
know I have, because of my studio, I have boxes and boxes of gloves, because I always, when I'm making makeup or, making elixir, labeling, whatever I'm doing, I'm always using gloves, and then I just turn them, I turn them over a lot. So
Perfect.
luckily I have gloves that I can use, and that's a great idea. I think I'm going to put some in my purse, because um, every place I go now, I'm very impressed by the sanitizers throughout. It used to be, like at the front when you got to the shop, like a grocery store, they're the little pull-ups, and then you can wipe the carts down and you go inside. And now they have like sanitizers where you can sanitize your hands.
That's
So I think if we all just take a pause, be as careful as we can be. I haven't been able to do my business since mid-February. Rosetta and I have had 3 shows that we had planned to do, scheduled on the books. We've had to postpone them. We're all going through a very, very difficult time for our businesses. However, if we take care of each other, we will go through this, and then on the other side, we can reschedule. If we continue to be in a state of greed and I don't care about you, I'm going to get mine, we're just going to keep this going longer and longer and longer. It's going to impact us all. So if you don't have to have your full staff, let them go home. Please, I beg you.
Yes, that's very true. Please do what you can to protect your staff because they're the ones that are helping you make the money in the beginning.
Yes.
And if they're
Yes.
out of commission, then so are you.
Absolutely.
So
So
good reminder for people.
yes, because, you know, Rosetta and I, you know, this is a new experience for us, so we're going to see how it turns out. We love getting together and doing these videos to share with you all. And we just want to be in a position that we can go back together and be together. We had a pop-up plan for today, as a matter of fact, in Los Gatos. And we were so excited. And the owner of the tea house was excited for us to come. It's just that, you know, like with me and the makeup, I wouldn't be able to take my makeup out so that people could touch it because we don't know who's carriers or not.
And we don't want a lot of people around our table and talking to us. And you never know,
Yes,
right? Droplets
yes,
from anything, talking, someone could just spit and that would be it.
yeah. And I mean, 7 to 11 days, that's a long time for something to just hang around. That's
Yeah.
a long time.
Yes. And then the tea shop that we were going to actually have our pop-up, they've actually closed. So everything's closed in Northern California right now.
Yes. So we want you to be safe. Ellen, we miss you. We want you to come back soon because we love the inspiration. And as she always says, be kind to one another. And the best way we can show kindness today is to defeat this virus by staying 6 feet apart when we have to be together. I've seen videos of husbands and wives in the same house in different rooms. You know, do what you can to love one another. And when you love and care for each other, we will be okay on the other side.
And I always say, stay positive, everyone. Be
Absolutely.
positive, stay positive, and we will come through this.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us again on this very, very amazing day because we are still here alive and we're trying to be as positive as possible and bring some cheer into your homes. So I hope you enjoyed our chat. And don't forget, everyone, to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like us, and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any of our chats. And as always, we loved doing this. And remember to always
Always keep smiling.
smiling. Take care. Bye bye now, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Till next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.